Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Daf Yomi Yevamot Kuf Chaf Aleph Amud Aleph. The Gemara is discussing some tragic cases. A person goes ahead and it seems like he died, and we need to know and testify 100% if is he dead or not, in terms of the Yerusha, in terms of the wife, and all the other factors that are involved. So the Gemara differentiates between different waters. If, let's say, he went missing in a water that has an ending to it, that's different than, let's say, it was just a pit of water when there's no entrance, exit, just that one pit, and he goes under and wait there minutes and minutes, and there's no way he could survive. Can't escape anywhere else. So then we could testify he's dead. But if it's a water that has an ending, then that's different. The Gemara actually has some cases. Rabbi Akiva was on a ship and they saw it go under, and they thought that he's gone. And then all of a sudden he appears. He explains, I held on to a board, and I was able to miraculously get to the shore. Shapiro started Daf Yomi. He uses this Gemara in a homiletic way that the Daf saves the Jewish people. Here, of course, the Daf is referring to the physical board. He used it allegorically to refer to the Daf Yomi. Anyways, the Gemara testifies that Rabbi Akiva was saved by the Daf. And the Gemara says, you see the importance of the Chazal, that when they said that a water which has no ending to it, we cannot testify unless we find him dead. That's exactly the case. The Gemara is the same thing with Rav Meir also, where his boat went under, and once again he was able to survive, even though it didn't seem from the initial case that he did survive, but you just don't know. So this, of course, applies today as well. A person goes in the water, in the ocean, where there's in Sof, there's no clear ending, then we don't just assume that he passed away. The Gemara discusses a fire as well, and a person gets lost in a fire. What do we say about that? The Gemara explains, Farshim explain, what if it's a pit filled with fire? That's one kind of thing. As opposed to a barn, he's in a barn with fire, so maybe he got out to the other side. Of course, here also there's some tragic ramifications, whether it's the World Trade Center, whether it's in the crematoria, other places where there's fire, and where the posting, of course, have to take these Gemaras here and apply it to the various cases. The clear case in the Gemara where there's a pit where there's fire and there's no way out. And then the posting have to, of course, compare that to cases. Well, when do we say this is like a pit where there's no way out? When do we not say that? The Gemara also discusses a case of falling into a lion's den, where if a person doesn't fall right onto the lions, he falls near the lions. We don't assume the lion's always going to eat people. It's only when they're hungry. So the Miri discusses, what if he falls right on the lions? Maybe that would be different. What about snakes? So the snakes are all in a pit. You fall right on the snakes. Even if a person is a snake charmer that knows how to calm them down, the Gemara assumes right when you fall on the snakes, they're going to kill you. The Miri once again discusses the opposite case. Well, here the assumption is they're going to kill you. What if it's not so many snakes in the pit? There's a few here and there scattered around. So maybe then we don't have such an assumption. The bottom line is the Gemara talks about many cases: water, where it's a limited area and an expanded area; fire in a limited area, or a person goes into an area where there's a fire, but he could get out another way. Then it talks about where he encounters animals, lions and snakes, and then we showed him talk about different situations. It's fascinating that all these cases, tragic cases, but all of them have very serious ramifications. And the Gedolim of the years had to take these cases, the Gemara and the Rishonim, the Shulchan Aruch, and the Achronim, and apply them to all the various tragic ramifications. Whether it's the World Trade Center, whether it's Klinghoffer case 30 years ago being thrown overboard by the terrorists, whether it's a crematoria, etc., where we see people go into certain situations similar to the Gemara, and then, of course, the poskim have to decide how to paskin based on these sugyas. Shalom.